own business. It's incredible. Every time I go on a trip, it changes my perspective. And they say one of the most healing things you can do for yourself is go on a trip. And that's what happened in this trip. It just changed the way I'm doing business. I'm literally charging my laptop at the moment. I'm gonna be changing the services I offer, how I do things. So it has really it just cleansed me, literally. Like the ocean waves and the sand cleansed me, and I'm gonna share that with you today. So also as a consumer, being in a higher end type of situation, like Maui is more expensive than California, even than San Diego. In my experience, I think it's one of the most pricier places I've been to so far and thus far in my life. So, and I was doing nice things too. So there was a lot of things that I got to learn in this trip that I really want to share with you. I think it'll be so valuable for us as business owners. Sometimes we need to get out of the business owner's hat and spot and go sit into the seat of the consumer, especially as a tourist. So with that, let's get right into it. So first, I already shared with you nature, that nonprofit work really matters a lot to me. I do a lot of it. I don't talk a lot about it. And with this trip, I think I'm really gonna be more vocal about the things I do. And I don't care. I think I haven't talked about it because I'm always like, why do people judge me? Or why do people think I'm trying to be like a show off or this and that? But it's like, no, I'm trying to motivate people to go do nice, kind things, right? And to be more than just us, for us a collective, right? The world is shared with everybody. It affects everybody, right? And we can all make a change a little at a time. So having said that, let's talk first about, the importance of sharing your nonprofit work. So we went down snorkeling and we went on, sailing. It was amazing. I got to see dolphins, awesome. And this is why I chose this certain company. So of course, I'm a tourist, there's lots of companies that can go sailing and, going down to the ocean and do my snorkeling activity. I had my family with me, my kids, so safety is also important to me. But looking at all of this, I'm like, I had thought about it. I wasn't sure if we were gonna do it as a family. Then I saw this one company, they actually use some of their profits to support the conservation and also, the research into the wildlife in the ocean, with whales. And I really love that because the ocean needs to be preserved. Like Maui ocean and water is gorgeous. I've been to Oahu, and the water is night and day. Like it was just so clear, so blue, so gorgeous. I'm like, oh my gosh, I really want to help preserve this and also go have fun, right? So I ended up going with this company, and I really loved that part, that it was just not just about them or profiting for them, but they were also going to give back to something that's important to me. So I knew that my money, it may be a little bit more than I wanted to spend, but it was going to go for a good cause. And in the marketing, they were so smart. They actually happened to have this special where kids go free. It included two of my meals. So it included breakfast and lunch there. It included unlimited drinks for adults and kids. So it was just awesome. I was like, yeah, let's do this. The snorkeling equipment. Now let's talk about safety, okay? All this is gonna go back to business, I promise, but I want you to understand the context of it. Then they not only had, they need to have a certain amount of people who are CPR certified, but they exceeded that amount, which I love. They have safety equipment that let you know as soon as you get in, the safety equipment they have. They have enough equipment if we're stranded out there in the water for, all of us, for 90 people. There was only 46 of us in that trip. So the safety, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel so safe and seen, and educating us about the water and the land and the culture and the importance of nature, especially in Hawaii. Just so much knowledge, and it was just so beautiful. We had a great time, okay? So then Celeste, right? And this is the part where business, if you're gonna say something, you better be ready to answer questions. So knowing that my money, some of it went to nonprofit work, I wanted to know. I'm like, so how much money do you actually, I'm grabbing my drink. So how much money do you actually use to support, the nonprofit work? They're like, well, we use the money to, upkeep the ship and pay for the things and, gas, and also all the employees. And then, and then after that, that money is actually used for research and for the nonprofit work. I'm like, okay, cool. It was that simple of an answer, okay? Had a great experience. Then they also had an add-on offer that was separate from the cruise. And you know, this was a couple $100, okay? So it wasn't that cheap. But they had this additional amazing photographer taking underwater pictures. And of course, like Celeste got them because the pictures were amazing. And you know, it's a once in a lifetime experience for us, right? We're all going together, and there was just, you know, and she was just so nice and easygoing, and I loved it, you know. And she gives me a card, and I see in the card, remember, context, okay? I see in the card that in 48 hours, I'm gonna get my pictures. I'm like, cool, okay, you know, like Celeste already had a drink. So she said, yeah, okay, whatever, cool, you know, we got it paid, everything good. Okay, we go. Now, I wanna share my experience with this. Like, this is what we can take for business. Number one, they were their word. I felt safe, right? So that's one of the main reasons, like the safety part. I felt safe. I knew my kids were taken care of. There was an emergency and everything that kept us safe. Number two, we were supported. I know if we got stranded out there, we had the additional support of things to be able to take us, you know, back into land. And number three, like they were true to their word. Like, you know, they actually do support local research and nonprofit work for the whales and the ocean. So that was really important to me. It was like such a beautiful experience too, that it wasn't just about the snorkeling or, you know, getting to see the dolphins, which was freaking amazing. I literally did a little video of dolphins. I'll see if I can post it here on the podcast episode if you're watching on video or on YouTube. And it was just so amazing. And I'm sharing that with you because as business owners, sometimes we're so scared to do add-ons, right? They had the add-on of the photographer, okay? It was, you know, an additional almost $200. And it's okay. Like I said yes. Some people may have said no, but I thought it was amazing, right? So don't be scared to add on stuff in your business. Like just be transparent about it. Also with the photographer. So I forgot, remember how I told you they gave me a card that said in 48 hours I'll get my pictures? I forgot about it. And then later that day, I'm like, where are my pictures? I paid for them. Because she gave me that card, you know, with a QR code where I can contact her. In the card, she literally had, you will get your pictures in 48 hours. And when I went on the website, it says within 48 hours. If you don't get your pictures within 48 hours, please contact me. Talk about supporting me without having to reach out to her. Business owners, how can we make stuff easy like that, right? Like I forgot, I've been out all day in the sun, okay? Swimming. I forgot that we're gonna get our pictures within 48 hours. She had it on the card, she had it on the website. I didn't even have to reach out to her. And they did such an amazing job. Of course, I took pictures without my family because I don't share my family on social media. I share my kids. I'm gonna do an amazing review for them. They didn't even ask for that. They're getting a Google review for the company and Google review for the photographer. So they did such a great job. Kudos to them. They get reviews with pictures and the whole thing. And I have a special thing with Google. So I'll get a little extra brownie points for them, you know, which will be really good. But they didn't know that. So I'm just sharing that with you because as business owners, what can we have to remember when people are experiencing something new they never have done before, or maybe they have done before. I've done this. I did this in Cancun. We didn't see dolphins, but the experience was night and day. I did not feel safe in Cancun. I felt super safe in Hawaii, okay? So the experience was night and day for me. Always think about how to make the experience and the process simpler and more like that cuddle safety feature for your clients, right? Just a simple 48 hours. I never would have thought about that. Just her put in 48 hours, you'll get your pictures. If not, contact me with a QR code, having it straight on her website where I could easily spot it with not even having to scroll, it was just right there. Was amazing. I loved it. What a great experience. Okay, and I will be doing a post for them, not because they paid me, not because I have to, because it was just such a beautiful, amazing experience. They were amazing with my child. One of the lifeguards, she was in her, surfing board out there watching all of us, because we know there's rules to keep us all safe, right? Because we are in the ocean. And my little 6-year-old was there. She made her comfortable and cheering her on, telling how brave she was because she got in the water, even though she was right next to the stairs. But she was just amazing. So what an amazing experience. So I want you to think about all of this. What can you do in your business to enhance your experience? Sometimes we think it has to be a fancier thing or a fancier drink or this and that. It can be just such simple things like a card. A card with 48 hours made a huge difference for me. Made me feel so supported and cuddled and yes, I made this investment. I don't know this photographer. I paid them money. I'm getting my pictures. I'm getting my investment back of memories that's gonna lasts a lifetime for me. They even said on there, I have 30 days to download the whole thing. So I'm literally charging my laptop to download all the pictures. You see what I mean? Like, I didn't have to contact her. She told me everything within this one little card in her website. So take that, pause, go make changes, or do it after the episode. Okay, so that's part one. So part two, about being a tourist, and also taught me a lot about business. Okay, so there's this road, it's called Road to Hana. It's gorgeous. It's like going into the jungle. It's beautiful, but it's very windy. Okay, and my kids were getting a little restless, and I don't blame them, and I was too. I was like, okay, I'm ready to get out of the car, go do something. And we found this place where they had waterfalls. And, you know, so I asked, I was like, oh, they have waterfall there. It's like, let's go. We've never been there. And we're like, whatever, like, let's just go explore. That's how I am. If you're gonna be married to me, I'll be my bestie. We're gonna go explore. So my kids, they know. That's how mommy rolls. We go in there and it's $10. Amazing. You get, for $10, you get the parking, you get to go in, there's bathrooms, and there is 3 waterfalls. Sadly, the big waterfall that you can go swimming in was closed. And it was only $10 to get in, okay? And it's 5 of us, $10 for the parking, go in, and we could even go swimming, go look at the waterfalls and swimming. Sadly, the big waterfall wasn't open that day, you know? And so they tell us, hey, you know, like, yes, you're welcome. Of course, you're welcome in. Just wanted to give you a heads up. The big waterfall where you can go swimming in is closed today, but the other 2 are open and you can go see them. It's beautiful, but it's up to you what you decide. Okay, talk about transparency, like Bravo. And I really want to give them a huge shout out in Bravo because it was $10, okay? That's it. It's a business where $10 is all I pay. They were so transparent, right? And I think I love that. And it's so important for us as businesses to remember, I don't care if your product is $1, $10, $10,000, $5,000, $25,000. Be transparent about things, right? So I knew that there was 3, it said like, you know, they have 3 little, you know, like waterfalls, right? I just saw that it had a waterfall. I didn't know there were 3. And, you know, the person who was in charge of, you know, allowing people in for the entrance and to pay, she was transparent with me. I wouldn't have known. She told me there was 3. Sadly, one was down, the one we could swim in, but the other 2 are open. Do I want to go in? Of course I did. It was beautiful. Like, we took pictures. It was just gorgeous to see these natural waterfalls, to see the different colors of the water when you're up there in the hills. And it was just gorgeous, and I loved it, and I love their transparency. So, business lesson number 2, transparency. Things are gonna happen, right? If you think about nature, you can't control nature. So something happened, or maybe they were short-staffed, I don't know. But we couldn't go swimming, and that took away from the experience. They didn't lower their price, they just let us know because it was out of their control, and I got to make the decision as a consumer, and I said yes. So bravo to that, love that lesson too as well. Like, awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, now let's go into the other. I'm just gonna talk about 5 things that I really loved, that I learned from my own business here. Okay, so number 3, let's talk about the massage. Okay, if you followed me on Instagram, you saw me. I had an outdoor massage in an outdoor cabana. We're literally like steps down from the water. We can hear the waves. It was windy. It's in the morning. And they're getting, of course, they're getting an amazing Google review. And I took pictures and video and everything for them. I really want to talk about this because this was more of a pricier experience. And I really loved how they handled a couple of things. And I think we can all learn from this. So with that, let's get to it, okay? Number 1, I first was just going to do it for myself, okay? And here, at least where I live at, if my service is $30, I pay $30, okay? Over there, they have different taxes, okay? And they have different service fees, okay? So where I was at in Maui. So my massage was supposed to be, I'll be transparent, it was $180, but they add on taxes. So it's going to be like $100, and I didn't know how much taxes were because I don't know, like, I live in California, okay? Taxes are like 10 point something %, okay? So I'm like, I don't know. And then I've been going to, by this time I had gone to other restaurants. They have different service fees. So I want to know how much it is. And I want to be very honest about this. And I think we need to start learning this about being business owners too. I always think about this, but I think it just even reinforced that belief. People are asking not because they're trying to take money out of your pocket, not because they want to add a discount. Maybe they want to invite in somebody else and spend more money with you, and that's why they're asking. And I really love how they were so kind. And I was like, yeah, you know, it'll be $193 with taxes. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So do you still have room for a couple's massage? Because I want to take my husband with me. That's the only reason why I asked, because I was trying to see my budget. You know I want to leave a tip. You know, I'm in the service industry, so of course I want to be generous with my tip. I want to make sure that I don't only have money to pay for the service, but also have money to be generous with my tips with you know, the masseuses that we're gonna have. And it worked out beautifully. I loved it. I didn't know this until after the massage. Like, it was just him and I, my husband and I. We each got our own masseuse. It was private. They have a little curtain. We could hear the waves, the air. It was just such a beautiful experience. Like, I've never have gotten a massage like that in my life. And my husband was really lucky. I told him, I'm like, I wanted her. But he got really extra lucky because he really had somebody who also is into healing work. And he had a beautiful experience, and he got to experience a little bit more of what I always experience when I go do certain healing work services for myself. And it was just a beautiful thing to share with him. Afterwards, I learned that they only do that service at 9 in the morning because after it gets too loud and it gets too hot and it's uncomfortable for the clients, and you know, it's not a serene experience as well. So I really love that they were really transparent and they were honest about that in their website as well. So of course, you know, shout out to my girl, like her and I, we have the same last 4 digits. She's like, hey, we're our sisters. I'm like, yes, we are, our soul sisters. You know, so she was so cute. I loved, like, Bella. I loved being able to just talk and connect with her. And it was just beautiful. So like, what's the lesson here? We can take it to our own business. People ask pricing. I think we have to be okay with that. Don't assume that they want to give you they want a discount, okay? Sometimes we're going to add on services like me. So I just wanted to make sure, because I wanted to treat my husband for this, you know, for this. I'm like, I want you to go experience this with me. I want you to have a little time with me too, and just like be able to reconnect to yourself and have a moment of silence, you know, just for you. So that was so much fun. That was amazing. So again, take the business lessons from that. Amazing experience, hands down. If we had more time, would have been there longer, I would have done it again. Now this next one is I'm gonna leave. I think, yeah, I'll do the hardest one. This one. So I think this is so important for us to always remember. People are always listening, and you never know who's listening. So, you know, like be conscious, especially when you're like, whether you're providing a service or you are like visiting, to be conscious of like your environment and be grateful. And remember to stay humble, and remember that we're all trying to do our best in business. And if you are warned about something, you can't act surprised or mad about it. So I went to this place where they have the Hawaiian. They have like this, like in Hawaii, like in Maui, is they're like very well known for their cinnamon rolls. Okay. And the line says like 2 to 3 hours. We all got warned, 2 to 3 hours. Okay, social media, I already tell you, it's a long wait for this cinnamon rolls. They literally open at 7:30. There's people that get there at 4:45 to line up. So just imagine. And we're waiting in line, and these kids drive by. They're like, local. I mean, they're like visitors, you know, like, no, just kidding. No, so we were waiting in line. We're all freaking hot, and then these kids go by, and they're like, you know, tourists. I guess it's a tourist thing that people like to do. So I was like, okay, that's not very nice, but whatever. Yes, we're tourists, and we're here standing in this heat for 3 hours for a cinnamon roll, okay? So we're just sitting there, and people start complaining. Oh my gosh, it takes forever. And someone was from New York. Oh my gosh, it takes forever. Somebody else was from California. Oh my gosh, they should have more prepared. They should just have them ready to go. And I'm just trying to enjoy my time there, okay? I signed up for this. I knew it was gonna take 3 hours. And they say they're the best cinnamon rolls. My kids love cinnamon rolls, so I wanted to do something special for them. They were all sleeping that day, so I was like, I could be doing nothing, waiting for them to wake up so we can go to the pool, or I can do this right now and I'll still be back before they're awake. So I'm just trying to enjoy out of all this. And it was just such an interesting conversation and time. And I got to go in there, and I saw they actually do make them by hand, and they package them individually as you come in. And it was just beautiful to see that they do this. And as tourists, we decided we wanted to do this. So I wasn't mad about it. I was just trying to keep myself cool. And I met this really amazing, I forget she was Puerto Rican or Cubana, but she was so freaking amazing. She was so funny. So I was just laughing with her. Celeste, no te rindas, mujer. I'm like, okay, girl, I got this. I'm going to be in the heat for another hour and a half to get the cinnamon roll. I got my cinnamon roll, okay? Was it, for me, it wasn't like, I've had better cinnamon rolls. My kids were so happy they had cinnamon rolls because they're like this big, they're fat. But I love the experience. It taught me so much to be respectful of I'm always respectful of the land and people and businesses, right? And especially if you're gonna get something handmade, it's gonna take longer. Number two, if your clients, make sure that they know it's gonna take longer, then you know what you signed up for, don't complain, okay? And number three, try to do your best. And just, I wanna give them a shout out for this, okay? So first of all, I think like even as business owners, it taught me the lesson that as much as we can tell our clients certain things, sometimes they're not gonna listen, okay? And it is what it is, right? Like some people were there in line, they already knew it was gonna take hours, and they're complain. I'm like, dude, like you knew, like why are you complaining? This part of the experience, okay? And then somebody else was like so smart, like they should have shirts that said I waited in line for the cinnamon rolls, or I stood 2 hours in line or 3 hours in line just for this. Like make it a PR thing, right? And I thought it was hilarious because I would have bought that sweater if they had a sweater, because it gets colder here. Totally would have bought that because I think it's hilarious. I did stand in line for almost 3 hours for cinnamon rolls, okay? Like who does that? Celeste did. And so it was such a good lesson for me that in business sometimes we can tell our clients, prepare them, but there's always going to be some of them that complain. Number two, there's always like a marketing or a business opportunity with that. Number three, I want to give them a shout out for this, okay? So I already knew I was going to stand in line. But look, listen to this, okay? So she comes out, so they have somebody, she's amazing, chula. She comes out so cute, and she's like, "Quieres un café?" Like you want to order a coffee. I'm like, okay, I want something iced. So and what do you recommend? And so she has her card there. So you can pay right there with your card reader. She goes out and she comes back in less than 5 minutes. I have my iced coffee in my hand. I was drinking it, my name, just enjoying my little coffee while I'm waiting in line. They have little sprinklers that spritz water when you get closer to the line. They give out umbrellas because it's hot. It's in the morning, but the heat, that heat burns. Like look at me, I'm tan, okay? That's a natural tan. Even with sunscreen, I was sunscreening myself like 10 times a day. They have umbrellas. The umbrellas have their business name. It was just so beautiful. Like I loved how they try to make it comfortable. And that's why I think I was irked as a tourist and visitor that people were complaining about this. So I'm like, dude, like they're trying their best. We already knew what the fuck we're getting into, and they're making us comfortable. Like what else do you guys want? Like if you don't like it, just leave. And some people would leave the line, right? Because they're like, I didn't sign up for this. I don't want to do this. Some of them were just, I would overhear. I'm here for 3 days. I'm here for 2 days. I don't want to do this. We'll come back another day, not knowing that they're closed on the weekend. So it was just such an interesting experience for me. And it really taught me that no matter, even as a business owners, you try, and when people know, your clients know that things take time, they still will get upset, right? And I just love how they always try to accommodate us. I love how they had the umbrellas, the sprinkler water thing, giving us coffee, offering if we wanted to buy a coffee while we're waiting in line, so we didn't have to lose our space and we can cool down. That was just awesome. I loved it. I thought it was awesome experience, even though it was a long ass wait. I love how they try to make a comfortable wait. They even have little chairs there, so it was a good and long experience for me that day, but I learned. And I think there's some things that they did amazing, and as business owners, don't take it all to heart, okay? Some people are not gonna like it. And lastly, number 5, I went to some really nice restaurants with my family because we're foodies. We like good food. And I really love this part, and I think it's so important as business owners and also as a consumer or tourist to always remember this. So the land, the animals come first there. Like I don't care how bougie it is, okay? The land and the animals come first. So we went to some really, really nice restaurants, delicious food. But the birds would come in and they're like hanging around. Like one of them stole a piece of a pancake. The other one was trying to get a French fry. from underneath our table. And I mean, like, you know, you're paying good money for your food, but the animals come first. And I really love that, because I really feel like even no matter what kind of business it is, whether it's super bougie or it's $10, like the land and the animals are protected, and they really live up to what the culture is there and how important that is, right? To support the local community for that. And it was so interesting because some people were so mad, like, oh my gosh, it's the birds, or there's this, or there's that. And it's like, honey, like, this is a different way of living. Like, the animals and the land comes first here, so get over yourself, you know? And I thought it was cute. I loved it. It was part of the experience, dude. I had cool little birds around me, and I got to check them out and come near me. One of the little birds went on a photographer's, like, she went right here on the shoulder, then she went to her hair. It was hilarious. It was a wild bird, okay? I don't know, that little birdie liked her. So it was just fun, and I just love that. For me, like, I think it's so important businesses, right? Like, support your community. If there's certain things in your community that you know are big no-nos or are very important, like, support them in that way, right? And also for our clients, I think not everybody's gonna understand that, but it's so important that as a business owner, stand up for your values. For me, I really loved it. And because even though it was pricier at the nicer restaurants that we got to go to, because I was looking for like a little pop-up somewhere, but I didn't find one where I was at the place where I was staying at in Maui. But I just think it was beautiful. I loved it, and I would go back there because I know that I'm not only getting amazing food, and it wasn't just nice environment and fun. They had music, live music. It was amazing, but also like they're really supportive and really protective of the wildlife. And it was funny. One of the restaurants, I think it's like Mala. I probably mispronouncing it. Okay, so don't come at me. Mala Tavern. They have like a little, the waves come up, and they have a little like screen, and your food will get wet a little bit, but just part of the experience, right? It's the ocean. Like, what they're gonna do? They can't control the waves. So that's what I mean. I just think it's so beautiful. So really, in your business, look what you can do better to make your client experience better, and really be a part of your community and support your community, and understand sometimes no matter what we do, people are gonna complain or not gonna understand. But it's so important that we always look what we can do better, and little things make a huge difference. I hope this episode helped you today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Share it with a friend. That helps me so much to continue doing this podcast episodes, and I will see you back here next week.